I'm Natalie Thompson of the Lady Raider volleyball team, and this is BLITZ.
All right, welcome back to BLITZ. I'm Brian Carter. Joining us now is Lady Raiders Natalie Thompson, who is a junior middle hitter. Natalie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Now, it seems like the season just started and it's already over, which is kind of sad, but now you're going to be heading into your senior year. A little bittersweet moments coming up for you, but going into the season, I'm sure that you all had lofty goals. You go 17-21 this year. Assess this season for us and how you felt like the team met or exceeded expectations.
Well, as a sophomore last year, I was on varsity. We were in the same region, and it was tough coming in. We didn't know what to expect this year. We kind of knew what to expect. So it made it a little easier, but it's still hard to compete. Mm-hmm. But we tried our hardest to.
And you personally, you had a great year, and we see your numbers here on the screen right now. But talk about what you had to put in, the hard work you had to put in before the season to accomplish what you have this year, and where do you feel like I know you personally, you probably set the bar pretty high for yourself. What are some areas that maybe you feel like you need to improve on?
Well, I mean, obviously during the off season, we need to be very competitive and stay together. And one of the main goals I had, last year I had a hard time. I still have a hard time with making sure I keep my swing. Mm-hmm. So I've been really working on that, snap my wrist and just the small stuff.
And talk about, you've been playing volleyball for a little longer than a lot of people in this area, because in Northeast Georgia there aren't a lot of programs that exist anyway amongst the different high schools. But talk about what got you into volleyball in the first place, how long you've been playing it, and kind of your background and experience there.
Well, when I was younger, I was in 6th grade, and they had just started a rec league, and my mom was like, well, why don't you try that? So I tried it, and I just fell in love with the sport. So I've been playing since 6th grade, and then 7th and 8th grade I started the middle school program, and as a freshman I was on JV, and then varsity from sophomore in this year.
So you're one of the few, Natalie, that started at a younger age than a lot of people do in this area playing volleyball. But talk about, early on especially, what were some of the growing pains that you noticed that you and some of the other girls had to go through to get where you are now?
Well, a lot of people think, oh, volleyball's easy, I'll just go try out. Well, I mean, it's a mental toughness. You have to be athletic, and it's really competitive. It's more competitive than most people think.
Absolutely, and I know from talking to you before this, you play volleyball year round. It's not just one season and then you move on to something else. And I understand among playing club ball, you also have played some sand volleyball as well. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, I play about 2 months of sand volleyball during the summer, just to kind of keep myself up, and it's a lot more fun. I mean, not more fun, it's fun. It's so much fun.
Talk about compare and contrast that to the volleyball we see out here on the hardwood.
The rules are completely different. You don't have 6 people. It's just you and one other partner, so you have to have a very strong bond. You need to be able to communicate with each other, and it's a completely different animal.
And so you've been on varsity now since your sophomore year, so this is your second year you just completed on varsity. But as a freshman, you were on the JV team, and you got to witness watching the varsity make it to the state playoffs. And you haven't been able to these past 2 years, but I know that's something that had to feed into your motivation to want to get back there with you and Lainey and the other girls coming up.
Well, seeing the older girls, I was on JV, seeing them win state, it looked so much fun. And I just wanted us to be able to take it to state, so.
How much do you girls talk about that as being one of the goals in this program?
It really excites us to be able to think about going to state. Most of us were on JV when they went to state, so we really would like to experience it.
All right, so last question for you, then I'll let you go. But I love asking this to every athlete, but talk about some of the superstitions that maybe exist among volleyball players, because it seems like there's quite a bit. I know softball has a lot, baseball. Those two sports have quite a bit, but it seems like from an outsider looking in that volleyball has their own superstitions as well.
Well, we don't necessarily have individual, but before every game we, we lock our hands and we point our finger in the middle. We make a circle and we say the Lord's Prayer before every game. So
that's awesome.
Some girls might not wash their knee pads. They might wear the same hair tie in their hair. Another thing we do is we have, in our locker room, we have speakers, and we turn the lights off, and we all have a dance party before every home game. And, it just gets kind of crazy. It's really fun. All
right, so now you said this, you got to tell. What kind of moves are we talking about in the locker room? We're talking about the whip and the nay-nay and all that?
Definitely moves we would not do in public. It Everything stays in the locker room.
All right, well, Natalie, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. I'm glad you're just a junior, so we look forward to watching you again next year.
Thank you.
All right, check out our interview if you didn't with Lindsey Herron here on Blitz.